So I was scrolling through Twitter, and by the way, follow me on Twitter. But I was scrolling through on Twitter, and I found this random deck list from an account called the Snorlax Armada. They're a pretty cool page. They do a bunch of like control stuff, so I'll leave a link to their Twitter down in the description. But I saw this list that they were kind of messing with, and I thought it was really interesting, so I copied it and edited it a little bit. Like, I changed the ace spec and a couple other cards. I added in a Nacli and some other cards, but the concept of the deck is that you're just looking to retreat lock your opponent. So you're focusing around Omastar since it has the Primordial Tentacles ability, where as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon cannot retreat. We don't care about the attack. We're never going to be using it. This is solely just to retreat, lock, and to be as annoying as possible. Now, not only are we going to have the ability to retreat, lock with the Omastar, but we're going to be able to use the Nacli as well with the corner. If our opponent plays something that has a resistance to rock, we'll be able to cancel out the damage thanks to the resistance and pretty much just trap our opponent in the active forever. And same thing with the Maractus. If we find an opponent that has a card in the that we can trap in the active that has resistance to grass, then that's even better. But if not, we can still use these things, let our opponent eventually knock us out, and that'll set up for our prime catchers. Since we're never really taking knockouts, we are running 4 Accompanying Flute, so that way we can get targets on the bench to be disruptive with and annoying. And then we're also playing the Neutralization Zone, just so that way in the late stages of the game, once our opponent's already played some, stadium cards and things like that, we're going to be able to not only bump their stadium, but also make it so they aren't able to KO our active. We do run the Handheld Fan as well, just for some energy disruption to be annoying. And I also added 1 copy of Erika's Invitation, so that way we can be even more frustrating and boss things up and just be disruptive. We are running 2 copies of Jet Energy. This is to move our Maractus in, or whatever else we need. I do run 1 copy of Switch as well, and then we also run the 1 Fighting Energy for the Nacli. You can run Grass Energy or Water Energy rather, if you want to use Omastar's attack, but that's not really what the goal here is, so I wouldn't recommend it. We are playing Boxed Order. This is a card that I saw in their list that I thought was pretty cool. Pretty much what it lets you do is search your deck for 2 item cards, reveal them, put them in your hand, and then shuffle your deck, and then it ends your turn. This doesn't really matter for us all that much because we're not doing anything with our turns anyway, and being able to grab our Helix fossils will be pretty important. And then we're also running a copy of Xerosic Machinations, just so that way, as our opponent gets their hand much larger, as we just pass turns over and over and over again, we can force them to discard those that way as well. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be the list. It's pretty straightforward, but very, very fun. It's a little annoying to get to work sometimes because, again, depending on what your opponent's running, it can be really good or bad. But one thing that actually works with this deck pretty well is the fact that a lot of decks right now play Latios, or kind of need Latios to work, and so once you trap the Latios, they can't retreat, and so they're just stuck indefinitely. So it's pretty fun. But yeah, we'll jump into the games in a second. I just want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. Really goes a long way and means a lot, so thank you guys so much for that. For everybody else, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and go follow me on Twitter. I don't post anything on there because I constantly forget to do so, but, I'm on there, so follow me. And I will see you guys all in game 1 in a second. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1, and our opponent's going to be going first. We don't really open super optimally, but we do get our Klefki at least. So we'll see what we can get. Okay, Goldango. Not terrible, because there's stuff that we can trap in this deck. So that can be kind of nice. We're definitely going to need to hit some some flutes though. Accompanying Flute. The Lavencia. Okay, we get our Arven. We can use that for box And a Handheld Fan. Throw Artazon down. Go box for double Helix. Pass our turn. The main thing now is that we want to see like one more Levincia. Because if we can see that, then we can go for our Colress for the Neutralization Zone. And that'll protect us as well. We see code breaking. If we could see another Arven, that would be okay. An Iono would be nice. Alright, pretty underwhelming turn from our opponent though, so that's good for us. An Arven now would be super ideal. We'll go Artazon for a Maractus, just so that way we have something else to put in the active temporarily. And Handheld Fan's not really going to matter in this case. At least not yet. There's Goldengo. Another Goldengo. A switch. So honestly, that's really nice. If they're gonna burn their switches early because they don't really understand what we're playing, that's actually pretty good. There's a Fez, so something we can counter catch. Their Energy Search Pro. They go Make It Rain. We can bring up the Maractus for now. The Machinations isn't bad. What I'm gonna do is go Fan Colress for the fighting energy, but I'm not gonna grab the zone yet because I want to keep that hidden. And then what I'll do is go counter catch, pull up the Fez, and start to lock this to give myself time to set up double Omastar. Because again, I don't want to show the zone, and that's why. I want them to feel like it's like safe to go for. Because now that they have that down, if I can go Xerosic in a little bit, like once they start really plussing up some cards, we'll be alright. The other thing too is that they play limited steel energy. So if they go like steel energy and stuff like that, we'll be fine. We do have Arven here, so we can go Rare Candy, which isn't a terrible idea, but I think I'm going to go... yeah, I'll go Rare Candy for now, just so that way I have the Omastar. I could switch this in, but for right now, I think it's fine. We'll just continue to trap, force out their options. And then I think on the next turn we go Xerosic. Boss's orders. Okay, Okay, still can't retreat, but now we do have some options. We'll go Xerosic. Hey, alright, so they were just going to have to discard way too much. This is the point where, like, now we can start to look for our zone. We would Handheld Fan. I think they just got frustrated. I don't think they knew what to do, and that ended up working out pretty well. But they had some options, because our hand was kind of dead, so it depended on what we were able to top deck, but I'm not sure what they had in their hand. Maybe the Machinations was just going to be too much for them to deal with. I'm not really sure. But weird game one, but it was pretty quick, which I wasn't expecting for these games. I feel like they're all going to go kind of long. So we'll go into game 2 and potentially a game 3, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2. Our opponent's going to be going first. We are going to mulligan this. The main thing is, like, we would prefer to start with at least 1 Helix fossil, if not 2. That would be fantastic. Like, best start for us, to be honest, would be, like, Klefki active Helix fossil. This is not bad. Like, this is about the closest we're going to get. Because we can go Box Order for another fossil and an Ultra Ball, be able to go Rare Candy, Ultra, and get ourselves going. We have double Accompanying Flute, so we can look to trap stuff. If this is pure Dracopult, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. But it won't be too bad, because their energy will be limited. We'll have zone. The main thing that we're going to have to look to do is hit a Fez. They do get rid of an Artazon. You see Duskull. Duskull will be a little bit of a problem. Alright. Accompanying. We miss. But we do see one more Artazon. Accompanying again. We only get Dreepy. We really want to hit a Pheasantipity, so we're going to have to hold out for a little bit. We'll go Box Order for this and this. Then on the next turn, we can get rid of, like, our counter catcher and whatever else we draw. That'll get us into the Omastar right away. And then we go Iono from here. Alright. That's fine, but annoying. And could definitely be very bad. We see an Artazon. There's another Dreepy. We have to hit and trap Fez as soon as possible. Alright, that'll do. We missed it again. We haven't been hitting anything useful either. That's definitely not great. Klefki doesn't really make a difference here. I think what we have to do is go Artazon for a turn. Grab ourselves the Maractus. Go Handheld Fan here. Box Order for TM and Counter Catch. Yeah, or Pokégear and Counter Catch rather. I don't know why I said TM. Because the main thing here is when they knock out Klefki, we'll be able to move energy onto the Duskull. There's a Crispin. Fire energy, because if we can handheld away a bunch of the energy, that'll also work. Like just stacking it all onto one of the Dreepies might actually be the strategy. So like we'll throw that there, and then just trap the one without energy is gonna kind of be the play. For now, we need to put Maractus, even though we have the access to the Omastar, because if they go Rare Candy and evolve, they'll just knock us out and then we lose. So we can't really afford to do that right now. We can give up as many prize cards as we want. It doesn't really matter. I guess we go Xerosic here. Force out some cards, see what they discard. Okay, we can trap the Natu later on. That's actually not terrible. And we get rid of a Super Rod, so that's pretty good. We'll hold on to the Counter Catcher for now. I'd rather them go like Rare Candy to this. Them going Iono is totally fine. Okay, there's our zone. We know that they have 2 Artazon, so we can't just go zone right now, but if we can get them to discard those, and we see 1 discarded. Okay, them playing the Fez down is huge. That helps us so much. Psychic Energy onto the Dreepy on the bench. They're getting kind of unlucky that they haven't gotten a Dracopult yet. I will say that much. Like, that is definitely true. I don't think I get anything with this Artazon. Outside of, like, this and this, but I just want to get as many fossils in play as possible. And if I can place another fan, that's totally fine. The main thing here is, like, I can go Ultra Ball on the next turn. Get rid of, like, whatever I draw. Yeah, I can just stack up the energy onto this. Get rid of this, 1 Iono. Get myself the Omanyte. I would love to get an energy so I can start attacking this Dreepy, but it's fine. There's Rare Candy for Dracopult. This is totally fine by me. Alright, there's our Omastar. Yeah, I'm fine to just keep sitting here. I'm not sure they know what to do. And it seems like their hands are not really helping them in the matter. We can just keep passing. They need an energy to retreat out this Dreepy, and I don't think they have one. I think they, like, overemphasize their energy early. Because, like, let's say they're playing 7. One being prized, potentially. There's an Arven. I don't think we even need to use this. I think we're fine to just sit here at this point. Like, it actually... Okay, there's their energy to retreat with. But that's also why we wanted to hold on to the Arven, so that way we would immediately have a way to get into Counter Catcher. Unless their last card in their hand is boss and they knock out both Omastars, that would be very, very annoying. Alright, they go to the active. We take the prize with the Dust Skull, where we get a Pokégear. Not that that really matters all that much. But then from here, we'll just sack the Klefki. They'll take 2 prizes on double, like on the Helix Fossil and the Klefki. But that's totally fine. Yep. We knock that out. We bring in the Omastar. And then we go Arven here for the counter catcher. So we'll go counter catch, Handheld Fan, counter catcher for this, Handheld Fan down, and then pass. And from here we just start looking to build another Omastar. Yeah, I don't think they realize what Primordial Tentacles does, or because there's no way they're gonna attach energies to this to start attacking. They go Iono. We're really just looking to see the other Artazon get discarded, but the fact that we have boss counter catch is gonna make this a lot easier. The Sparkling Crystal does not matter, buddy. You're not a Terra Pokemon. We also have Jet Energy, which is nice. We can Arven to get ourselves another fossil. Where on the next turn we'll go Arven for Ultra Ball, and just make one more Omastar. I guess technically we shouldn't play the Helix Fossil down, just because it is a prize card liability. You cannot retreat. Don't know if that's clear to you or not. But I'm also guessing you don't play a copy of Switch, or if you do, it's prized. But I assume you don't, because you have double rescue board. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Concede. It is what it is, buddy. Better luck next time. Don't just run the timer on me, please. There's nothing here that I, like, actually want to discard. So I'll pass until I have one, and then I'll go Ultra Ball. Oh, did you guys hear that sweet knuckle crack? I wonder if the mic picked that up. That was good. It was all the fingers. Oh, hey, there's an Ultra Ball. I don't want to get rid of the Arven, though. And plus, like, we have all the time in the world. Oh. Perfect. I think they think that they'll be able to win by deck out. But that is not the case. Because pretty much what'll happen here is that we'll be able to go Pal Pad, put one of the Ionos back, and then we'll just be sitting on Ionos. Hey. So then this game's just gonna take a long time. But this is it. This is the strategy. We've enacted our revenge. This is where it would have been better had we held on to the Xerosic. But at the end of the day, it's not really going to matter. Because we can just Iono it towards the end, and, like, it's just gonna, like, we have more cards available. So now, like, we just do nothing and just keep passing. Hey. And there's nothing they can do. Is the main thing as well. Like, they can't boss out of this because it's the only things that they have are Omastar, or like the only thing that they can boss is another Omastar, which keeps them in the same position. If they have a switch and they attack into us, they'll KO one, they go down to one prize card, we bring in another one, we just counter catch, and they're in the exact same scenario. Plus, again, they don't play the switch. We have Pal Pad, but we can hold on to that. We'll probably just Pal Pad. Ooh, we can Pal Pad in an Iono and a Machinations. Alright. We'll Pal Pad in Iono, Machinations. And that will guarantee us the victory. Since, like, we'll Machinations pretty much destroy their entire hand. And then we just drop Iono in a future. But also, Pal Padding put it so, like, if they don't reshuffle their deck, or, like, if they don't reset their deck before us, they lose anyway. And so it comes down to, like, if they have Iono or not. But, like, again, it literally does not make a difference. There's no win con here. I just don't think they know there's no win con. Ah, they identified it. Alright, cool. So that's going to be game number 2. This went on for a very long time, so I don't know if we'll do a game 3. It'll depend on how long the video is, since I feel like this deck, all the games are going to go very long, and I don't want the video to be like an hour, but we'll see. Potentially breakdown next, or potentially another game. It just depends on when I get into editing how long this is. And I will see you guys there in a moment. Peace. Alright, we're in a game number 3. Our opponent won the coin flip, and they're going to be going first. As always, we're really looking for Klefki and some Helix. But we'll see what we're able to get. Nacli and a Helix is okay. You know, obviously not ideal, because we need the fighting energy, but we also just need something in the active to take up space and to KO itself, so, you know, could be worse. We see a Nest Ball. Mimikyu down. Energy onto that. If it's Guardy, we're going to struggle. Just because they're going to be able to move energy to whatever they want and just, like, start attacking with it, and that'll be annoying. We see a Dark Energy down for 2 more Dark Energy. Ultra Ball away the 2 Dark Energy. Dark Energy and a Buddy Poffin. Interesting. Wonder what they're going for. Ooh. It's not Gardevoir. I think it's just walls. And if that's the case, that's way easier to deal with. Okay. We'll go Helix. Arven for Box Order, Handheld Fan. Go Box Order for this. And I think Flute. No, we'll go Helix. Because on the next turn, we can go Rare Candy to Omastar, get that set up, go Helix down, then Pokégear for something new. Handheld Fan is going to matter a lot here. The Iono sucks. But a lot of our hand was Handheld Fans, so... this is okay, actually. Then retreat into Mimikyu. They already attached an energy for the turn, so we don't have to worry about the Nacli getting KO'd this turn. Though on the next turn it probably will. But that's okay, we have this. We can go Mimikyu for the turn. We'll go Pokégear here. We find our Arven. I'm fine going Arven to grab this and this. We'll go Helix down. I'm fine going Handheld onto Nacli for now, where we'll go Box Order for this and this. No. Yeah, that'll work. So now what we'll do is whatever we top deck, we'll Ultra Ball away, get ourselves our Omanyte, or sorry, our Omastar. They go Iono again, that's annoying. This is okay. Because we do get double Helix. We'll be able to go Klefki, we'll have Erika's Invitation. We'll be able to move the Dark Energy to the Monkey Dory. Or actually, it's better to move the Psychic Energy, just so that way that stops the requirement for the attack. We actually can't move it, I forgot about that. Because Ghost Eye places the damage. I'm gonna place this down. I'm gonna go for this first. Or we do find ourselves Tenacity, but I think we go Arven. Then we'll go Ultra Ball on the Erikas and the Klefki. Find ourselves the Omastar. Place this down. Go one more Helix. Go Arven for a Handheld. And a Counter Catch. I think we go Gear. And pass. With the main goal that we look for a boss onto the Farigarath. Get that trapped. Kind of go from there. Torchic, Artazon. That's fine by me. Ghost Eye is a little annoying. We'll put one of the Helix in the active because we can just discard it. We do see an Iono here. That's not terrible. Let's see. I can get Boss onto the Farigarath. I feel like that's not a terrible play to go for, so I am going to go ahead and discard the Helix Fossil, bring this in, drop the Boss, bring in the Frig, then go Handheld Fan, pass my turn, and then on the next I can go Iono. Because they can attack with the Psychic Assault, but then we will move the energy. We'll just start stacking them onto the Mimikyu. That's going to be like our primary target. We see an Arven. Not really sure for what. This is a weird deck. Bravery Charm. It doesn't really matter. Ultra Ball. For Chimbuskin, I can evolve that. Psychic Assault. We'll move the Psychic Energy onto the Mim. Because as of right now, there's no real energy that they can move to do anything with. I'm going to throw that onto this. Go Iono. Give myself a new hand to work with. Where we do see a counter catcher that's actually not terrible. Because going counter catcher onto the Torchic here would not be a bad idea. We can go accompanying here. We do find another Torchic. Because if they have Blaziken, there's a chance they can get the Psychic Energy. But I think I do have to take a turn to see if they'll get it. I do have Switch and Counter Catcher, and a way to start trapping something with damage temporarily. So I think I have to hold off. There's an Arven. They can get them Ultra Ball, so they can get into Blaziken, but they don't have a Psychic Energy, at least not for now. They may be running out of energy as well. Because there's 2 Dark in play, or there's 2 Dark in the discard pile, 1 in play, so that's 3. There's 1 Fire Energy in play, 1 in the discard. So that's 2. So 4 Psychic, 2 Fire, 3... 4 Dark, 3 Psychic, 2 Fire is what I'm predicting the line is. Which means there's still 1 Psychic Energy in the discard pile. Or, sorry, in the deck somewhere. That they have to find. But as of right now, there's nothing that they can really do. So we're fine to pass. It doesn't matter if they have the Dark Energy onto Monkey Dory. We do have Boss as well as Counter Catcher. So now we're really just looking for Rare Candies in order to make a new Omastar. We could discard both of these, but that's just too risky right now. Because there's a world where, like, they evolve into Farigarath and go, like, Psychic Energy down, move an energy with Blaziken, and then, like, KOS. So we have to play around that. Which means keeping both of these on board. But their deck is very weird. I also don't think they play Switch or a Tauros, which is nice for us. Again, we do have Maractus if we, like, really need to go that route. But right now we're mostly just waiting. I don't think they play extra... they'd have to play a second Blaziken in order to use the... to run that many Torchics, so we can't really boss that yet. You see Arven for Trolley. They're just thinning out their deck. They definitely don't have a Switch. Their other Psychic Energy might be prized. If we're lucky, their Farigarath is prized, and that is what's, like, crippling them so much. There's a Klefki. Again, that doesn't really matter. We could countercatch one of the Torchics. I think that's not a terrible idea as well, now that all the Fire Energy's out of play. We see an Iono. They're looking for something. I assume their Psychic Energy. We get Colress, which means we can actually end up with the Neutralization Zone. So Dark Energy onto that. What we're really hoping for is our Omastar. Because of all the energy placements, I am going to pull up the Torchic for now. I think that's totally fine. And I'm gonna go Iono here as well. Perfect. Because what I really want is to be able to make a new Omastar. I can go Buddy Poffin here for these. And my turn. And once I have the second Omastar made, I can get rid of this. They have another fire energy. That's interesting. They get rid of the Blaziken, though. Odd choice. There's an Iono. Only annoying because I lose that on the Omastar, but I should have another one. Yep. Let's see a Pokégear here. So this game is over. One of the things that's like good and bad is that they can go Boss's Orders on the next turn, but doesn't really matter. So what I'll be able to do here is go Rare Candy, go Ultra Ball, get myself another Omastar, make this completely set up, and then from here I can go for the counter catch, pull this back up, and my turn. Now there's no energy in the discard pile. There's tons of random energy spread all over the bench. It's actually funny. These matchups are harder to win than the regular matchups that you encounter because I don't have any idea what my opponent's doing or what their deck is. Is where, like, normally how control works or what makes it, like, playable or decent is you get to know what your opponent's deck list is, in the sense that if your opponent is playing like Terrabox, right? It's like, okay, well, I know what I kind of need, like what my route kind of looks like on like what cards to look out for, what I can trap, what I can't trap, yada yada yada. With a deck like this, it's like I have no idea how many energy they're playing or like what other random stuff they may have in their deck. So it just makes things like way harder for no reason. But hey, it's gonna be another win. We're really abusing bottom of the ladder, though. I will say that is a little true, because with the ranked reset, it is, man, it's the Wild West down here. I will say that. I think that Arceus is a little bit of a weird league sometimes, but man, is down here the Wild West. But, alright, that's going to be it for our game number 3. And I'll jump into the breakdown in a second, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Going into the breakdown for Omastar, I think this deck is a ton of fun to play, and when it works, it's really, really great. I've had a lot of fun playing this deck. A little bit on the ladder. I mean, the ladder's kind of terrible at the lowest rank, so it's kind of funny to exploit this deck. But honestly, I've had the most fun playing it against friends and like just against like random people through like Discord and stuff like that. It's been the most fun to play it. They have no idea what they're experiencing, and just being able to throw it down and like enjoy the game that way, like very casually. This deck is a blast. Going into its power, it's obviously like 1, which is like the bare minimum. You're never attacking, you're never really doing anything, so the power doesn't matter. Going into consistency, it's a 3 out of 5. Actually, it's a 2 out of 5. It's not very consistent at all. Actually, it's not great. When it works, it is a ton of fun, but it doesn't really work very well. And going into your matchups are across the board pretty bad. Gardevoir is really bad for you. Dragapult's pretty rough if they get going, you know, anything faster than a couple turns. Goldengo is actually not terrible. I've gotten to play that one a little bit. Your best matchups are Poison, like Poison Box, because you just rely on Klefki. Things like Archaladon aren't that bad. because like you're able to abuse things like the accompanying flutes. Your Terra Box matchup is also not that bad, and your Tropicos with Bouffalant matchup isn't that bad, because you get a lot of things to trap, and you can be really, really frustrating, because their energy I keep hiccuping, I'm so sorry. Their energy acceleration isn't that great. And then lastly, the new like Terra Box thing with like Joltik and stuff like that, that's actually not a bad matchup either, because they need to play Latios in order to like really function, and so you can just trap the Latios and then they just lose, because a lot of decks aren't playing things like Switch or like anything like that. So definitely those matchups can be okay, but again, you need to be set up in order for them to work, and because you're a fossil Pokemon, it's just not that great. This deck also lost a lot. I feel like if this was like pre-rotation, it would have been pretty good, because you'd be able to use like the Omastar V and be able to like get yourself set up that way, but without it, it's kind of rough. But that being said, this deck is a ton of fun. So if you're looking for just like a bad deck to like mess around with and have some laughs with some friends, this is the go-to. If you're looking to actually win a lot of your games, this is not the deck for you. But yeah, that's going to be it for the breakdown. Thank you so much to Snorlax for this deck list that I saw on Twitter. It's a lot of fun. I recommend everybody start chefing this up, do something interesting with it, and maybe we'll all come back with a great list. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.